This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
All right. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. What are you jamming to there? Why are you bopping?
What am I? What? No, I'm neither one.
Oh, okay. All right, no, because you were bopping. I'm wondering.
Oh, like this? No, I'm.
Yeah. I thought there was some music going on in the background of hockey practice.
No, just the sounds of pucks meeting the sticks and the ice blades swooshing across the ice. How's that for description?
All right, so there we go. We'll get a little Dolphins and Panther talk and music talk in this segment. Is it amazing to you that no genre of music has been created in this millennium?
It's and mind you, when you were running through the list of all the genres, you left out my favorite by far of all time. Made me sad. Progressive.
Okay, progressive.
Rock.
Progressive. Oh, you talk about Yes and
Supertramp, Genesis,
Rush, and Genesis. Okay. Yeah. Do you like progressive rock nowadays, like Dream Theater? Do you listen to shit like that?
I don't listen to a ton of new music.
Oh, have you ever listened to Dream Theater?
I may have heard a snippet. Don't they have like one song that's famous and that's also very, very long? That's the one that rings a bell, and it didn't grab me.
Man, you should give them a little bit more, bro. Petrucci is an excellent. To me, they've got one of my favorite drummers on the planet, Portnoy. I just saw Portnoy now with the three guys with Billy Sheehan and
ZZ Top.
Winery Dogs. I saw him at the Culture Club, the Culture Room. Oh my God, that was such an amazing show. Do you know anything about the Winery Dogs, too? No. Cool, dude. Oh, that's an all-star band, bro. Okay. It's like a powerhouse band. Billy Sheehan is one of the best bassists on the planet, dude. Oh, you should catch up to a little Winery Dogs, bro.
Okay.
You should. But by the way, it is weird, right? Because you and I grew up as decades went by, they added new styles of music to it. And it's funny how in the last 23 years, the last 2 decades, the 90s didn't really have the variety that the other decades had. It only had really grunge, and I don't know if maybe you want to call, rap is rap, but in the 90s it kind of became, what was that saying for the rap? Because it was a little bit more of an edgy rap. It had more
gangster rap.
Yeah, gangster rap. That's it. So in the 90s, rap was 90s was rap, and then it became old school rap. And then I don't know if that's what you want to do. Call it gangster rap is different, but it's still rap. But in the 90s, there wasn't a lot of different genres stepping in. It was kind of the slowest one out of the top 4 there. But it's weird, right? How there's been no creativity since at all. You can't even come up with one genre.
No, and it's almost like I don't know if it's an old man rant here, but it's the same with movies. Everything's like a remake or it's a Marvel movie. So music, you get a lot of sampling of an old song. It's like rehashing everything. I don't know.
Yeah. 2 times asking, does Poupart still own cassettes? I actually still have hundreds of cassettes.
I think I may have chucked them all. I used to have them not that many years ago. I may have chucked them all though.
I have them. I still have my cassettes.
There you go.
I swear to you. In fact, when we take a commercial break, I'll go downstairs and I'll go grab some cassettes for the hell of it, just to show you guys some cassettes for the hell of it. Some of you out there have probably never even seen a cassette. So what the hell? You might have seen one for the first time.
How about an 8-track? Pull out an 8-track.
That I don't have. That I did not keep around. But I do have my cassettes stashed in boxes.
There you go.
I have to say that I do have that. Hell, I have my cassettes from when I started in this business. I used to record every show. I still have from the early 90s, dude.
A little quality control.
Yeah. Back in the day when you had to have that kind of stuff. All right. First of all, before we get to some of the other stuff that's actually more relevant right now, let's get to the Dolphins. Isaiah Wynn, your thoughts on the signing? Um, I have a concern, and I'll tell you what it is. But go ahead first. Your thoughts on the signing?
Well, as long as we're not expecting him to come in and redefine the offensive line, I think it's a solid depth move. We talked about getting a swing tackle. This is a guy with a lot of starting experience. Actually, can also play guard.
Right.
Now the downside, he's had a ton of injuries in his career since arriving in the NFL in 2018. He did not have a good season last year before he wound up on IR with a foot injury. But I have not seen the financial details. I'm going to guess it's not a very big money contract. That's number one, and number two, we're in May. I mean, let's not. We're not signing Teron Armstead in May. We're not signing, an elite offensive lineman in May. I think this has the potential to be a low risk, high reward situation. I'm okay with the move, and I'm not making my Super Bowl reservations tomorrow because of this move, but it's a solid acquisition.
Well, for the record, I already made my Super Bowl reservations. That's already done.
Well,
Nothing to do with it.
You're going in Vegas, so.
Yeah, it's in Vegas. So, either way, this time's different. This time I'm going either way. See, Arizona, once they weren't going, I canceled. But Vegas, I may not cancel that one because there's always concerts there that week. So every week. So I may just
they'll do it up.
Yeah, I may just go for the hell of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it is Vegas. It's always a great excuse. Here's my concern about all of this.
Go ahead.
I'm with you on the signing. I have no problem. It's a depth signing. You can't lose. I don't think they paid him any kind of money. It's a 1-year minimum. He gets injured, they get rid of him, whatever. I'm not worried about that. Here's my only concern now. I thought I'm pretty sure, feeling pretty sure that Cameron Fleming is the guy that's going to sign with the Miami Dolphins. Has something developed in the last couple of days that signing doesn't look as secure, that another team has stepped up and made a kind of offer that maybe even the Dolphins aren't willing to make. And they then said, we need to cover our ass. Let's go get Isaiah Wynn just in case.
Correct. Yeah, there were reports he was visiting another team. I want to say Seattle, maybe. So maybe they got wind of he's likely to sign with the Seahawks. So let's go to plan B. I think I'm kind of with you. I think I would have preferred Cameron Fleming over Isaiah Wynn. I don't think it's a massive difference.
No, I think it's a massive difference because Isaiah cannot stay healthy at all. He cannot stay healthy, dude. And this is not a 1-year thing. This is a 4 or 5 year thing with this guy. And that's my problem with Cameron. Cameron Fleming, I think, is a slightly better player than him. I really do. And he's healthier than him overall throughout his career.
Well, Wynn played 16 games 2 years ago. So, I mean, they've been interspersed. I mean, he tore an Achilles coming in as a rookie. Then he had a knee injury. I think it was 2 years. Like look at it this way. It's every other year he's had a significant injury. So now in 2023, it's the good year. So that's like Jason Sanders early in his career. He was good in even numbered years, and he was bad or not nearly as good in odd numbered years. Except now he's broken that trend by being a little bit subpar the last 2 years.
Yeah. That's the only thing that came to mind.
That's fair.
And that's the only concern that I was telling Dolphin fans. I didn't get to explain it to them, but that was my one concern out of all of this. That I'm wondering if the Cameron Fleming one is not working out right now, or they're afraid of it, and then that's kind of where they ended up going in this direction.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense to double up with Wynn and Fleming, and I probably have a hard time believing that for the same money they wouldn't choose Fleming over Wynn. So it's either they got wind that he's signing somewhere else, or Fleming was asking for more than they were willing to pay, and then they turned to Plan B.
Right, and I think that's what's, to me, that's, I have no facts on this. It's just kind of the way I'm reading, what's going on. overall. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I do like the signing as a depth signing, and you could be right. Maybe it's funny that maybe this is the year he stays healthy for them. Kind of like the Eric Fisher guy. He had a lot of injuries. You brought him in, and you had him there waiting in the wings, and then eventually he got injured anyways, and he wasn't going to be able to help you if you needed him. You know what I mean? And that's
in practice, no less.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you fear the most. All right, you're covering a team that is, bro. When's the game? Wednesday?
It's maybe. I think what's at play here is ESPN is splitting the conference finals with another network, which is TV.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
What?
MLB refuses to move off of ESPN. They want to move them to ESPN2. Then TNT refuses to switch games. This has become a complete shit show right now.
Well,
for
it's
them.
why.
Wow.
No, it's why. Whatchamacallit? It's why that Edmonton Vegas game last night didn't start until 10 p.m. because they were showing Cardinals Red Sox at 7 p.m. on ESPN. So, anyway, I think they're waiting to see the result of Game 7 of the Seattle-Dallas series tonight. So ESPN gets its choice of which series they want to focus on, and then that's going to determine when it's going to be. But it is like, I mean, this Florida-Carolina matchup's been set since Friday night, and we still don't have a starting time for the schedule.
Yeah,
Less than ideal.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are getting rest. That's for sure.
Yep.
They'll be well rested. Because didn't the Panthers go from one day off to the next series right away?
Yeah.
I mean, and they were rushed right into the Boston series, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time they kind of get a real break, overall.
No, they were off. They were off yesterday, which was very much welcome from their standpoint at this time of year. So.
No, definitely. How are they physically, health-wise? Everything kosher?
They're good. As I'm watching practice, Ryan Lomberg, who hasn't played since the latter part of the Boston series, is on the ice. He does not have a yellow jersey, which means sounds like an all clear. I don't see Bennett and Tkachuk. I haven't seen out here today. I'm going to guess it's just one of those. They don't really need to be out there. So health-wise, they're about as good as can be.
Yeah, and by the way, this is the best foursome of studs you've seen on one Panther team, offensive studs that you've seen on one Panther team, right?
It's kind of the same. If you do it, it's the same last year. They had the same guy, except take away Tkachuk and you put in Huberdeau, and they were just as potent. And they're more what they are is they're grittier and they play a different style. It's not so much.
But God, it just seems to me that the Montours, the Verhaeghes, and the Tkachuks and the Bennetts of the world, these mothers are just, bro, they are money players, dude. Offensively, in these kind of situations, I have never seen the Panthers like this. Not even last year.
But that's the key because they're playing a playoff style of game this year, which they weren't last year. This year they didn't have anywhere near the firepower they had if we're looking strictly regular season. But their game last year didn't translate to the playoffs. This year they played a playoff style pretty much the whole year. It didn't really mesh until later in the season, partly because they had so many injuries and illnesses. And then toward the end of the season, it started clicking and they got on a roll. And when they got into the playoffs, they were going to be a much tougher out. And, the perfect storm happens. We catch a few breaks here and there. Bobrovsky's playing the best hockey he's played since he signed with the Panthers. They're getting the key goals. They're 4-0 in overtime. So here we are.
What does it say to a team when your best player is willing to do anything and everything to win in Tkachuk? Because that guy doesn't take shit from anybody. He's fearless. He'll live in front of that net. He'll jab at you while you're trying to break shit up or whatever. This guy's not a normal superstar. Normal superstars are not as physical. They're not as confrontational because Yeah, I don't know if you even want your superstar so confrontational because then there's like this big X on his ass. We saw where they decked him in a game twice, and he got up like nothing. That's the other thing. He doesn't act like a diva, too. You know what I mean? He doesn't act like I'm beyond you hitting me or anything like that. He kind of takes it with the game. It's like he's an odd like superstar, dude.
He is. Here's what I'm going to tell you. He is the rarest commodity in hockey, which is he is a highly, highly skilled player who plays a sandpaper style, who will get under the opponent's skin and piss him off at every turn and set the tone for his team. Like Connor McDavid's the best player in the NHL by far, but he's a finesse player. Matthew Tkachuk, again, that combination is practically impossible to find. The combination of skill and grit.
All of those kind of guys. Yeah.
And this is why I told you before, if it wasn't for the fact that Tkachuk told the Calgary Flames, I'm not signing a long-term contract with you guys. Get my ass out of here. There is zero chance they trade him. You do not trade a player like that.
Yeah, no, of course you definitely don't trade a player like that. My God, who do you compare him to from the past? Who's the superstar that played like him?
Sidney Crosby.
The younger Sidney Crosby?
Well, Sidney Crosby is still very, very good. But it's the same time. Sidney Crosby. Is he what?
He agitates like this guy?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Sidney Crosby is no saint. Oh, yeah. He's got a dirty side to him.
Okay.
Plays with an edge, quote unquote, is how they phrase it. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Ovechkin a little bit.
Yes. That's a good one. That I've seen plenty of.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know why. I guess I watch Sid more in his highlights than I do watching him every minute, every game to see how he agitates somebody. But
there's some players in the NHL who tell you he's actually dirty. So, he plays with an edge.
All right. What do you think about this series?
Certainly, logic says Carolina wins because they actually play similar styles, and Carolina is a better team up and down. Especially their decor is outstanding. Is really, really good. Having said that, I'm not about to put anything past the Panthers, but I will repeat: logic says Carolina's a better team in the Winter Series, okay. and I hope I'm wrong.
So do I. I definitely hope you're wrong. It would be really, really nice. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. What are you working on SI? So folks can check out alldolphins.com and bookmark it.
A couple of things. Omar and I did a podcast earlier today. It's going to be up on YouTube later in the day. I don't know exactly what time. He's also working on a story on Tua and his weapons. I'll probably have something on the new defensive backs they added to the roster as they keep making some roster adjustments here, and whatever else comes up, we will be attacking. Probably do a couple more things related to the schedule because even though I had this discussion with Omar, I happen to think that the actual schedule itself, not just who they're playing, but exactly what time of year is of consequence.
Okay, there you go. So check it out, alldolphins.com, bookmark it, and keep it going, baby, because those two guys are pumping out articles like crazy. And follow them on Twitter at Poupart NFL. Alain, as always, enjoy the Oki, my friend. We will catch up later in the week.
We'll do it. Hopefully next time we talk, Panthers will be up in the series.
Yes, let's hope so, bro. Let's hope so. That would be really, really cool. Thank you. And don't forget, call my man Eric at ejdconstruction.com. They can help you out, man. We're talking about custom home construction and major home remodeling, Dade and Broward counties only. All right, 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843. I tell you all the time, whatever you're looking to do, you want to remediate the entire house, they can do that. You want to add a new room to the house, you can do that. You want to modernize the kitchen, you want to create a really creative man cave and all that. Two of our listeners now, all right, are doing one already did it. The other one now is doing the same thing, a home theater. Okay, with stadium seating. super. I mean, I don't have a home for that, but those of you that are blessed to have that kind of a home, that you can have one of those rooms and create, a home theater with stadium seating, hey, more power to you. Call the great people at EJD Construction. Tell them that Big O sent you. 305-433-4843.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.